Welcome back, Philadelphia Phillies fans. We're at the end of the 2023 season, and as you can see, the Phillies, 110 wins, second best team in the league, second best to the Dodgers, and we are in the postseason. As a reminder, I have the AL and the NL as no divisions, and the top four make the postseason in each league. So we will be playing the 99-win Braves in the first round of the postseason. We won 110 games, most in Phillies history. I believe 102 was the record before this. And expanded standings-wise, we were plus 243 run differential. Pretty remarkable. The Dodgers were at plus 267, and the next best was the Braves at plus 179. I think the Braves are going to be a tough out. They put up this 99 wins without basically Ozzie Albies for all season, but he's back now. He came back with a week or two left after a hip injury put him out in April, and he was their second best player the season before. He put up like 7 WAR. So they've got him back. I think they're going to be a really tough team, and going through the Dodgers, assuming they knock off the Brewers, is going to be really tough too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but pretty happy with the way the season's gone so far. Let's look at the team here. So we ended up 4th in the NL in runs scored, 4th in OPS. We're 1st in walks, 4th in home runs. ERA, starters, bullpen, runs allowed, WAR in terms of pitching, 1st in all of them. Our defense slipped a little bit to 3rd in efficiency, 2nd in zone rating, 2nd in BABIP. Pretty key injury to Kevin Kiermaier, which I'll get into, helped damaged the defensive stats a little. But so we went 21-5 in September and still didn't make up ground on the Dodgers because they went 22-6. So yeah, we were hot. We did our part, but a team with Bellinger and Betts and all those guys firing on all cylinders, it's tough to catch them. So we do have our entire outfield is injured. So Brian Reynolds is out for 4 weeks. He finished the season with 1.5 WAR in 526 plate appearances, 103 WRC+. Kiermaier had a really nice season when he played. He's now fragile. He was injured multiple times this year, only played in 58 games for us, but put up a 103 WRC+ and 1.4 WAR. So that's like a 4.5 WAR pace if he were playing every day, just about. Maybe a little less than that. Excuse me. So Bryce Harper is back in 2 days, so I think he will make the postseason roster. I haven't set the postseason roster yet, but he's going to make it. He's back in 2 days. He's been out since the 13th of September. Finishes the season with a disappointing 106 WRC+ and 2.4 WAR in 563 plate appearances, 20 home runs, 29 doubles. Really remarkable that this team won 110 games, or whatever it was. I think it was 110, with Harper basically being just kind of like an above average right fielder, slightly above average. So imagine if he was doing his thing, where we would be. So lineup wise, let's look at, so Manny Machado, just MVP caliber season with 7.14, 135 WRC+, 30 doubles, 39 homers, 110 runs driven in, a 533 slug, 18 steals in 19 attempts. Maybe he's going to opt out, maybe he's not, but man, this could not have worked out better for us bringing in Manny. Just absolute stud. Cornelius Randolph only played in 114 games. He's caught up later in the season, but I imagine he'll get Rookie of the Year votes. A 132 WRC+, 3.1 WAR. He put up 31 home runs, which I think finished in the top 10 in the league in just over half a season. Hoskins, a decent season with the 120 WRC+. He's a free agent. Bryson Stott, he was a top prospect. He was top 20 prospect coming into the season, and he was a league average bat as a rookie and a decent fielder. Very good against righties, struggled against lefties. Adames, all glove, no bat, about what we expected. Real Muto, disappointing season, 1.6 WAR, 80 WRC+. Nick Solak, of course, came in for us to hit lefties at second base, and he did that. Against lefties, he had 115 plate appearances at a 130, for us, he had 39 plate appearances at a 117 WRC+. So pretty happy with that. And against righties, he had 34 plate appearances and a 194 WRC+, mostly pinch hitting. So Solak was solid. He's probably back next year. Jahmai Jones, solid, man. This is his first year up, and he's our center fielder right now with Kiermaier out. 98 WRC+, we'll take that all day. Hedges, good defensive guy. Logan Davidson, one of our top 100 prospects. He ended up with 244 plate appearances. He's played a lot, and he's playing in left field right now. a 108 WRC plus, solid. Rivas came up towards the end of the year and played some, and he's acquitted himself well when he's played, man. Like, he hasn't played a ton for me, but he's been up, let's see, MLB's had 130 plate appearances and has a 113 WRC plus. He is 27 now, and he's another lefty bat. I don't know that I have a place for him, but he's been decent. Adam Hazley, he came up. He played like the last month of the season and was really bad again. His WRC plus all the way down to a 79. I was thinking I was going to come into next season and give him another shot on the team, maybe as a bench player, but he came up the last 3 or 4 weeks and was bad again. So, Cespedes, this is really just a matter of Girardi, for some reason, playing him against righties a lot when I brought him in to play against righties. So against righties, he had 130 plate appearances and a 43 WRC plus. Against lefties, he didn't mash, but he was good. 109 WRC plus, 0.5 WAR, and 109 plate appearances. If we can just have him play against just lefties, I think that'll, work out much better for us. So let's go ahead and I think that was, and Nick Maton came up at the end of the year with all the injuries. Disappointing year for Nick. Disappointing year. Pitching, Cy Young caliber season from Aaron Nola. 6.6 WAR, 7.1 R WAR, 2.78 ERA, 2.92 FIP. He ended up with a 17-5 record. Just every metric you're going to look at, he should win the Cy Young for the NL. Clevenger came over and was fine for us. 11 starts, 4.33 ERA, 4.16 FIP. Decent from Mike Clevenger. He gave a lot of home runs, though. Barrios, solid season, 3.8 WAR, 4.27 ERA, 3.69 FIP. Zach Wheeler put up 3.4 WAR. Justice Sheffield out of the pen, 108 innings, 2.8 WAR. Sonny Gray was solid. Zach Eflin was good. All these guys made up the best bullpen in the league. We're all good. Sir Anthony Dominguez, Blake Trinan, Jose Alvarado, Scott Alexander, Durbin Feltman. I mean, look at these ERA pluses and these FIPs. ERA plus 100 is league average. Anything above 100 is good. FIP minus is the opposite. Anything below 100 is good. All of these guys were well above average. So, yeah, pretty remarkable pitching staff here in Philadelphia. So let's go ahead and look at some of my prospects that I have shortlisted. And we're going to go to minor leaguers, all players, and let's go through these guys. So Antonio Anderson, second round pick in 2023, was miserable in rookie ball, but he just turned 18 in June. Like, he was 17 when he had just turned 18 when he was drafted. Bradley Gage, my first round pick in 2022. He wasn't great in rookie ball. It was his second season there. Hopefully he can be better next season. Caleb Hampton, another guy he's just 18, struggled in his first season in rookie ball. Jacob Hudson looks like he had a decent season. Round 5 pick in 2023. And, I got an alarm going off here. And so he had 0.7 WAR between those two levels. Tucker Toman, I think I'm probably going to need to take off my list here. He's just bad. He's been bad. He hasn't played. He's gone down from a 50 potential to a 25, second round pick in 2022. Mick Abel, basically a lost season due to injury, 25 innings in high A. Dylan Castaneda, my scout thinks he's good. OSA thinks he's excellent. Number 34 prospect in baseball. High A, put up 2.7 WAR. Good season from him. Kokoska is an older guy who is my fourth round pick in 2022 and put up a nice season in high A, but he's 24. Bradfield is my first round pick this year, 23rd overall. Again, a guy who I think has a very high floor with this glove, and he's got a good work ethic. He put up a 125 WRC plus in A ball after being drafted, and my scout thinks he's getting better at the plate. His potential and overall contact's gone up, and his overall eye's gone up. His potential's gone from a 45 to a 50. So pretty happy with how that's worked out so far. Jason Diaz, my fourth round pick in 2023. He was solid in A ball, and he put up 0.3 WAR, a 4.66 ERA, a 4.41 FIP in 36 innings. A little below average, but as your first season professional in A ball, that's pretty good. Delandry has not really started hitting yet, as we hoped he would. My second round pick from 2021. He's still just 20 years old, though. Rock Riggio had an average season in A ball as a 21-year-old after being hurt this last year. 2021 first round, 13th overall pick, Casey Salk, put up a really good 127 WRC plus in A-ball. So he'll go to high A next year. And Irvin Weems sucked in A-ball, just 20 years old. Luis Garcia is maybe a guy I need to remove. He's a glove first guy whose glove just isn't good enough. And Johan Rojas, he really struggled this year between Double A and Triple A, but hoping for a better season from him next year because he looks like he could be a decent hitter, and he's a right-handed outfielder, which is good anymore. Those Brett Beatty, left-handed hitting corner infielder, really good season, number 56 prospect in baseball. Garcia, he was very good in Double A, 116 WRC plus. I promoted him to Triple A at the end of the year, but he didn't play. I think the season might have been over on accident when I did it. Oops. And let's see, Reggie Lawson. He pitched 74 innings, but he missed a good chunk of the year, but he was awesome. 1.46 ERA, 2.35 FIP. He'll be in the discussion next year to be in our bullpen probably. Gunnar Meyer, another guy pushing for a major league job, put up 1.6 WAR in 104 innings in AAA. Eric Miller, 3.2 WAR in AAA as a 25-year-old. Nice. Mickey Moniak, his time with the organization might be coming to an end. Jordan Westerberg was below average in AAA. His glove isn't good enough yet either. Logan Davidson, number 37 prospect in baseball. He came up, and we already talked about him, the 108 WRC plus in Philly after raking in AAA. And Nick Maton sucked. We talked about him. Randolph is going to get Rookie of the Year votes. Segovia, basically a lost season for him. Sucks, the number 8 prospect in baseball. Hopefully he'll come back from that elbow injury, but he won't be back till like July. And Bryson Stott, solid. And that's back to it. So now let's just look at some of the league leaders real quick. So Bellinger led the way with 42 home runs. Let's see, where did our guy Randolph end up in the league? Oops, help if I could scroll. In home runs. Anybody see him? There he is. So what? He's like, I don't know, somewhere around 20th. And he had 485 plate appearances. I mean, pretty good season from him. And that's not where we were. Oh, I know what I did. Batting leaders. There we go. Acuna led the league in slugging percentage. Soto in on base. WAR was Bellinger at 9.2. Wander Franco, Seager, Acuna, Lindor, Machado, Willie Castro, 7th in the league with 6.9 WAR. And the year before he had 5.6. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. That's one of those random out of the park things that I just love. And yeah, so Luis Arraez led the league with 209 hits. And Harper fell out of the league for walks after missing the last several weeks. So Juan Soto walked 102 times. And pitching leaders, we've got Sanchez leading the league in ERA, Nola and Wheeler both in the top 7. Nola led the league in wins. Nola led the league in WAR by a wide margin. 43 saves from Chapman. Complete game. Syndergaard the only one with 3. And let's see. AJ Puck led the league in Ks per 9 with 11.1. Nola and Gray 1 and 2 in the league in strikeouts. Heck yeah, buddy. 25 quality starts from Aaron Nola. I mean, he's gonna win Cy Young, right? Like he's got to. So that's gonna do it for the 2023 regular season. We're on to the Braves. Like I said before, I'm not gonna be doing live broadcasts right now, just with my schedule and things going on in my life. I'm not able to plan around doing that. And I've actually recorded ahead a couple weeks, so I don't have gaps in the episodes coming out. So I'm not sure how I'll do it. I might play out some of them and record it and post that, or I might just do box score recaps. We'll see. But we are in Philadelphia for the first 3. Again, the first round is structured weird. I did 3 home, 3 away, 1 home for the higher seed. And then it goes back to the regular 2-3-2 after this series. So we are on to face the Braves, the second best offense in the NL, and a very good pitching staff, solid pitching staff. We went 4-2 against them this year, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts on the 2023 regular season Phillies, the best regular season team in Phillies history. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Instead of recapping the postseason in the next video, I'm just going to go round by round here. So I just finished what I guess we'll still call the NLDS, even though it's not technically that anymore since we only have 2 divisions. But as you can see, we defeated the Braves 4-1. We'll face the Brewers, who knocked out the Dodgers in 7 games. They came back from a 3-0 deficit. And then small markets reign supreme here in the AL with the Rays and the A's advancing. That's pretty fun that one of the two of them will be in the World Series. And let's just do a quick series recap. Game 1 was wild. We won 14-12. We went down 10-1 after 1.5, and then put up an 11 spot in the 3rd inning, including a grand slam by Rhys Hoskins for the final 4 runs of the inning. Yeah. And so I think all of these runs in the 1st inning were unearned. There was an error by, I believe, Willy Adames in the 1st inning, and I actually left Nola in because my thinking was he made it 3 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. When some guys got on in the 4th, I took him out. But my thinking was in the 1st inning, I don't know. I just wasn't ready to go to the pen in the 1st inning. And he was, the error cost him. I think there was an infield hit and then just a 3-run homer by Huff. So the catcher. So I left him in. And then in the 2nd inning, when we started getting beat around, I was like, well, I don't know. I don't feel like wasting my bullpen in a game where I'm down 10-1. And so my thought was either 1, I'm going to try to get some innings out of Nola to save my bullpen some, or 2, our offense is going to chip away and we're going to keep our best pitcher on the mound and hopefully he can turn it around. And he did. So Hoskins had 2 home runs. He had a solo in the 1st inning and he had the grand slam in the 3rd inning. Harper didn't play in this game. He was still out for 1 more day, but he returned for game 2. But as you can see, everybody except Manny and Adames had a hit. I did pinch hit Solek in the 3rd inning during our big 11-run inning because Stott was up in a big spot against a lefty. I think there were 2 outs, and he ended up walking. Or no, that wouldn't be right because Solek would have an RBI if that happened. I think he did walk, though. I was going to say I thought it was walk with the bases loaded, but I guess it wasn't. So I think he walked, and then a couple batters later, Hoskins hit the grand slam. So that was pretty cool. And, good luck to Atlanta coming back from that deflating of a victory, or that deflating of a loss. Game 2, we won 4-2. Sonny Gray went 7 innings strong for us, and Trinan and Sheffield shut the door. Hoskins had another home run in the 8th inning. The game was tied 2-2, and Real Muto also went yard. Randolph had an extra base hit. Bryce Harper returned and went 0-for-3 with a ribby and a walk. I believe he walked with the bases loaded to bring in a run. Game 3, we won 8-3. We were, it was never really close. We went up 2-0 in the 1st and cruised to an 8-3 victory. Barrios went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks. Eflin finished off the final 2 innings. Home runs by Adames, Real Muto, and Randolph. Harper went 0-for-2. Manny went 1-for-3. Yeah, that was another solid win. And then the Braves were able to knock us off in game 4, 5-1. They knocked around Wheeler a little bit, 2 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks. And then the bullpen was solid. I brought in Trinan in the 3rd inning when they had the bases loaded, I think, and I was trying to keep the game close. And he did get out of it, but then he gave up a run the next inning. No home runs for us in this game. Bryce went 1-for-4. Manny went 1-for-5. Hoskins went 1-for-4. And then game 5, this is what it was all about, man. So we were tied 1-1 in the 7th, and Bryce Harper hit a 3-run homer to put us up 4-1, the final margin of victory. That's why we did this sim, to have Bryce Harper hit a home run in a spot like that to send us to the next round. He went 2-for-4 with 3 runs driven in. Manny 1-for-5. Hoskins, your series MVP, went 1-for-5, ended up with 333 average, went deep 3 times and drove in 8 runs. And yeah, and Nola went 7 strong in this one, 6 hits, a run, 7 Ks, and Justice Sheffield shut the door with 2 shutout innings to end it. So yeah, that's it for this one. So we're going to go on and now face the Brewers, who I think they were a pretty similar team. Yelich and Hira are still in the middle of their lineup. Urias, Vogelbach. They have Marcus Semien. Pitching wise, I have to fix the playoff rosters for some reason. A bunch of guys aren't eligible, but they've still got Burns, Woodruff. They've got Tyler Mahle. who they traded for from Cincinnati. And so they had a bad offense, 10th in the NL. Runs allowed, they were 4th. So not that great of a defense, 15th in zone rating. So they, hopefully we can knock them off. 92 wins, good for 4th in the NL Robinson division. But they did just knock off the Dodgers, of course. So looks like we've got Molly against Gray, current Cincinnati Reds teammates in real life, facing off in Game 1, Round 2, which we'll call the NLCS. I forgot to go back and rename my the different rounds of the postseason. So, anyways, let's. I will have an update just a second. You just sit tight, and I will have an update on the NLCS. All right, so the postseason's over because we didn't get the job. Whoa, hey. Because we didn't get the job done against the Brewers. We lost 4-1. The Brewers then went on to beat the Rays 4-2. So the Brewers have themselves the 2023 World Series championship. And yeah, so let's just go over what happened in that series. And I'm also going to combine in this episode, I'm going to do kind of my off-season thoughts and planning episode. So we won Game 1. We won 3-2. Let's see. Real Muto had a home run. Gray went 4 2/3, and then the bullpen pitched really well. We were cooking. And then Game 2, we got blasted 11-1. Barrios did not pitch well, and then the bullpen sucked. Nobody went yard. Extra base hit. Real Muto had a double. And then we lost Game 3 1-0. This was a tough one. Nola went 8 1/3, 9 Ks, 3 hits for us. The bullpen was strong. We had 5 hits. They were all singles. Just nothing doing there on offense. So I don't know if you can say their offense was better or their pitching was better. I don't know, however you want to frame it. And this was another extra inning game. We lost 5-4 in 13. Kristen Yelich hit a walk-off homer in the 13th. Home runs, Real Muto went deep again. Jones and Rivas both had doubles. Jones had a triple. Wheeler pulled him early because he was in trouble. And then the bullpen pitched pretty well. But you can see just so many pitches. Like Alvarado took 38 pitches to go 1 2/3. Pomeranz 29 to go 1 2/3. Trinan an inning to go 37 pitches to go an inning. Our bullpen was just getting gassed. They had Woodruff go 121 pitches, 8 innings. So their bullpen was in better shape there going into the next game. So that was the 5-4 loss. And then we just didn't really put up a fight in Milwaukee for Game 5. And, that was an 8-2 loss. We fell behind early. Gray got blasted. Eflin couldn't keep it close. And we just never really woke up. So that's the end of the season for the Brewers, or for the Phillies. And the Brewers went on to win the World Series. So let's go ahead and jump into off-season planning. Just a jam-packed episode here, a lot. I'm combining what normally I would do in 2 or 3 episodes into one here. Hopefully you guys are still with me. And let's look at the lineup and what's going to happen with the lineup. Let's take that filter off. So Real Muto will be back at catcher. I think Randolph will be first base again. He certainly earned that right. Stott and Solak, I kind of like this platoon. I think that might be the second base situation again. Machado, so I simmed to the end of the World Series, and that's the day the offseason starts. Machado is not opting out, so he's going to be back. He's going to be back for it'll be 5 more years. This is showing 6 because 23 hasn't dropped off yet. So 5 more years, $30 million. But, of course, we're only paying $18 million of that. And Adames will be back. He's under contract for 3 more years. In left field, I really like what Rivas has done in very brief chances in the majors. He's at 130 plate appearances, and he's put up a 113 WRC plus. Against lefties, well, he struggled against lefties for me. Against righties, he's hitting... Oh, right, because he's left-handed, sorry. Against lefties in his major league career, he's got a 120 WRC plus. So I think I would like him in left field in a platoon with Cespedes, because Cespedes hits lefties really well. Rivas hits righties really well. I think that could be a really good platoon in left field for us next year. Center field, of course, Kiermaier's on the IL, and he's a free agent. He's 34, and he's just not healthy anymore. John Mike Jones is not good enough to be my everyday center fielder. Center field we're going to address through trade probably. Right field, Harper will be back. Hoskins is out as a free agent. At 30, he did have a nice season, but I just don't think I'm going to have him back. Even if I get him on a shorter, cheap deal like this at just $9 million per year, I don't see myself bringing him back. I think I'm going to open up that spot for a younger player. I'd say Logan Davidson is the leading candidate to get some reps at DH next year, but a bunch of guys will get time. He had a 108 WRC+, but he's ripped up the minors. He's a top 100 prospect. He's 25 now. It's just time to give him a shot, I think. So really not a lot will change here, I think, other than center field. We'll make a move in center field. Pitching, so this is still set up as my playoff rotation, but Nola is a free agent. He's 30 years old. He's probably about to win the Cy Young. He led the league in WAR, FIP, strikeouts. I think he was second in ERA. I think he was second in wins, first or second in wins. And oops, I did not mean to create a note on him. So this is the kind of guy who normally I would let go in a heartbeat and do the qualifying offer. 8 years, $34 million per year. But given that I'm the Phillies and I have a bunch of money, I have $73 million to spend, I don't want him for 8 years. I really want Nola for like the next 2 to 3 years when we've still got Harper isn't totally over the hill yet. Real Muto isn't over the hill yet. We've got a good young core and Nola's still pitching like an ace. But obviously I'm not going to be able to get him for 2 years. So the question is, how many years am I willing to give him in order to secure him for like the next 2 to 3 seasons when I think he'll still be worth his contract? The answer to that's probably 5 or 6 years. If I can get him to go like 5 years and an option for maybe around $30 million, I think I'd bring him back. And of course that contract might get painful at the end, but like I said, I really want him for the next 2 years, and you got to pay a price to bring him in for 2 years, and that's the price I'm going to pay, is signing him for probably like up to 6. Gray is a free agent. We'll qualifying offer him, but he'll walk. He's wanting like let's see, he's 34 now. He wants 5 years, $23 million per year. That's not going to happen. And Barrios is under contract. Wheeler has 1 more year left on his deal. Eflin and Clevenger are both back, and so is Justice Sheffield. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Sheffield. He's a really good pitcher. He thrived in the starter role, but he also got Cy Young votes 2 years ago in Seattle as a starter. So I don't know. I think maybe I'll have Clevenger in the rotation and Sheffield be the stopper again, and I might try to trade Eflin, is what I think might happen there. Trinan is a free agent, not interested in returning because he doesn't like Girardi. Alvarado's a free agent, to be determined here. He wants like 3 years, $6 million per year. Dominguez is back. Pomeranz, free agent. We'll see on him again. Alexander's a free agent, and same thing, not interested in playing for Girardi. Feltman, I imagine, will be back. So really, Sir Anthony and Feltman and Sheffield are the only 3 guys here that are definitely going to be back next year. So we'll need to do some work in the bullpen. We've got some young guys that can come up for sure, but we'll see how that goes. Segovia is ready to come up, but he's hurt until basically July, which sucks. And Reggie Lawson will be in the mix. He put up 3.7 R WAR, 2.8 WAR in AAA, so he'll be in the mix. Let's see. Mason Fox will certainly be in the mix. He's looking like a possible stud reliever, and he's got 35 stamina, so he could be a stopper as well. So he'll be up. And Logan Reinhart, I don't really even remember looking at this guy. I don't even really remember this guy. I got him in Seattle. I guess probably in the Sheffield trade, maybe. Oh, no, I traded Taylor Williams. Got it. Okay, cool. So he's worked his way up. And so then the question is my bench. Obviously Solak will take a bench spot, and Cespedes / Rivas in a platoon will take a bench spot. So then who gets the third bench spot, that non-catcher bench spot? Hedges is under contract. I re-signed him for like $1.9 million, so he's back. And it'll really come down to, Hazley, Moniak, Matan, Bohm. Swaggerty is out of options, though. He's the only one in this group out of options, but he just hasn't done anything AAA, but he's a nice 5th outfielder here with that fielding. So he could be the guy. And then I don't know what to do about like Bohm, though. I mean, he ripped it up at AAA, but he's done nothing but just he was fine for me, and then he sucked last year. And he's been displaced by Randolph, and he's probably got pretty good trade value. Maybe we can bring in an ace starter for him, or maybe I'll leave him in AAA in case injuries happen, or, that DH spot isn't really secured. If Logan Davidson or any of those other guys suck, Bohm could hop up and hopefully thrive. Maton will probably be AAA depth, and Moniak probably AAA depth. this guy, Brett Beatty, he's a top 100 prospect and put up 3.7 WAR. He's ready for the big time, but I just don't really have room for him. He could be another guy who's depth there for the DH spot when we need it. And in terms of what I was looking at for center field, so let me see if he shows up here. Oh, Devers opted out. So Byron Buxton is a free agent, but Byron Buxton is, is he wrecked or is he fragile? He's fragile. He's out with a torn back muscle as it is now. He's played in a bunch of games, though. He's been pretty healthy. 153, 149, 149. He's put up between 3.6 to 5.3 WAR. He's been average-ish with the bat, and he's an elite fielder, 29 years old. I could make a run at him for sure, but his health definitely concerns me. And so that's when I go to the trade screen and I look at the strength overview, and I just kind of look at what center fielders that I like. And honestly, the one that I like the most is Christian Pache. And I actually looked at him at the trade deadline and had a trade I was willing to do where I could have brought him in. But the Braves were in the hunt for the postseason and obviously made the postseason. So I just wasn't willing to do it. I didn't think it was realistic. They're still willing to trade him now in the offseason. And I was confused as to why, because Pache is 24. He's about to enter arbitration, and he's been really good for them. I mean, he's like a star center fielder. But he is entering arbitration. His first year of arbitration is estimated to make $7.8 million. So he's going to get expensive quickly. And if you look at the Braves, they're in some trouble with money. And I think this might be why they're willing to deal him. So they have, somewhere between 13 to 20 mil over the next couple of years. And so they're paying Freddie Freeman $39.5 mil per year. Acuna's still on the books, obviously. Ozuna's on the books. Nick Ahmed is about to go from making $10 million per year to at age 33 making $23.2 million per year for the next 3 years. Fried's under contract. He's getting more expensive. I think they are just looking to get cheaper and shift Acuna to center field. Honestly, I think their money just isn't there. And I actually haven't checked on Drew Waters. Maybe he's coming up too. But it looks like they just have spent money to the max elsewhere. Oh, Drew Waters went to the Marlins. Huh, they traded him. Okay, cool. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to make this trade, and I'll show you the trade. It's not as painful as I think it should be, but at the same time, they are getting a lot of major league talent back. And let's go to the Braves. Hopefully it's still there. Yeah, here it is. So Durbin Feltman, who I think could be an elite reliever, and he hasn't quite been that for me yet, but he's only 26. And, I think he would be an elite reliever for them, and he's on a league minimum deal still. So obviously that fits their need of getting cheaper. Adam Hazley, they still believe in. Hazley had one really solid season for me, partial season for me in 2021. Since then has just not gotten the job done in the majors, but has absolutely mashed at AAA. So maybe they believe in him, and he is still just 27. So, he could still become a good player for them, possibly. Adonis Medina is a 26-year-old starter who doesn't look overly impressive according to MyScout or OSA, but he put up 3.8 WAR and 4.7 R WAR in AAA last year. So they, I think, probably see him as a rotation piece. I mean, certainly I would be looking to work him into my bullpen / fifth emergency starter role if he was hanging around. But so that's 3 guys who are going to contribute at their major league level next year. And so is Brian Reynolds, who, of course, has been league average outfielder for me. He's under contract for 2 more years for very cheap, $5 million and then $6.3 million. And he can play at an MVP level. He's done it a few times. And let's see. So, yeah, I mean, he did it in 2019 in real life. Then he did it for Pittsburgh in 2027. And then for me, he's been below league average. But, he's certainly a very good outfielder. So they're getting back 2 really good outfielders, a back of the bullpen arm, a guy who could possibly slide into the rotation. Then Bailey Falter's kind of more of a flyer. But, again, he put up 3.4 WAR and 4.6 R WAR last year. This movement and fly ball pitcher makes him kind of a no-go for me. But if you can get him in a ballpark where the home runs aren't going to kill him with these 3 pitches and that control, he's going to be a good pitcher. So these are 5 players who I think would contribute to the Braves, and all for probably around the price that Pache is. So Pache has put up really good numbers. I think he's over his head a little bit with the offense, but I don't remember if I worked out trades for other guys. You know, Trent Grisham's out there, and you know, sometimes people want to see kind of how I do this. So let me show you real quick. If I were to, you know, say, hey, I want Trent Grisham, who I don't love that he's only a 65 range. That's playable, but he's an all-star / almost superstar level player. So let's just see, you know, I'd say make this work now. Who do you need? No player would make this work. So not even if I were to say, you know, hey, please take I don't know, Bryce Harper. What do you say? Get serious or don't bother. Yeah, Harper's stock has probably fallen a bit. Bryson Stott. Okay, so they would do Harper and Stott. What if I remove Harper? Okay, so they're almost willing to do it, but I'm not going to trade Stott. I'm just trying to gauge their interest. So Beatty is a guy we'll obviously deal, right? And then we're going to ask him to retain some of this money. Make me an offer I can't refuse. Who else do you need in this deal? Fox, Bohm, Hazley, willing to deal all those guys. Maton, willing to deal him. Let's say Hazley. Cool. All right, and then let's go up to 55%. The answer is no, but we're not that far apart. Who do you need now, dude? Let's see. Who are we willing to give up off of this? Feltman is there again. Plenty of guys. Let's just say Feltman. And then let's go up to 80%. Tantalizing offer. They'll need more, though. Don't love giving up any of these names mentioned here. All right, let's go down a little bit. Okay, so a bunch of names here. Let's maybe go to 75 and get it in between. All right, Berea, so Bailey Falter, there he is again. So it's looking like it's probably going to be a similar package to Pache. Let's remove Stott. Okay, so they're willing to do it for Beatty, Hazley, Feltman, and Falter. So I'm not trading Hazley, Medina. Basically, Hazley, Medina, and Reynolds aren't in this deal, but Brett Beatty is. And what is Grisham's contract? He's going to get expensive, but he's 27. He's not as good of a defender as Pache, though. He's a better hitter, but not as good of a defender. I think I prefer Pache, even if this deal is cheaper. Let's see, how much of the... yeah, so I think I'd prefer the Pache deal because he's a better fielder. So another guy that I could look at is Victor Robles. He's a really good fielder, I imagine. Oh, his range is only 65. Okay. I figured his range would be higher than that. So another thing that I sometimes do is I'll go to transactions, I think, right? Yeah, players, MLB player list, and outfield range. So Buxton is there. Bader I could look at. Kane is still there. Bradley's too expensive. He makes it way too much money for his age. I could always look at Manny Margot. So Margot is elite, but he's below league average with the bat. Oh, and he's about to be a free agent. Got it. So I could always go after him in free agency as well. So I probably will hold off on that Pache trade until free agency starts and then see like what the deal is with Margot and Buxton. Although sometimes if you do that, that same trade will not be there. That happened with me the first season I was thinking of trading for Manny. But, you know, because that way I could hold on to all those trade chips, have Margot out in center field or Buxton out in center field, and then deal for like another ace starter or something, you know. Or, I don't know, a big bat who can DH for me. So, yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards the Pache trade, but I don't mind going the Buxton / Margot route either, but they're probably going to be expensive money-wise. So that's how the team's shaping up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this lengthier episode and a little more nitty-gritty there on how I look through the center fielders and how I look through the positions that I want. So the big piece will be, will we be able to bring back Nola for a reasonable piece, and will we address center field adequately? And then I think we'll be back in the hunt next year if we can accomplish both of those things. Thanks for watching, and I will talk with y'all soon. Bye.